Welcome to Franklin High School Library and the 2016 Franklin Poetry Slam.
All right, now we're ready for our first poet. Okay, cool.
Vida Grider. Ooh.
That's all right.
Is this good right here for you?
Let's see. I think this will be just fine. Thank you very much. Okay, just a disclaimer. My poem is about police brutality, and hopefully all my sheets fit on the music stand. Hands up! Do it. I said, hands up, I am not afraid to use force. My belly hung low that year, held heavy in the hands of my husband. My sister told me a belly that low meant I was gonna have a boy. I pray she was wrong. Run, they'll kill you. I killed 1,186 people this year. You are just another number. Just another number, twice as likely to be unarmed than a white man. Just another number, 4 times as likely to be shot and killed by the police than a white man. Just another number slipping into statistics. I gave birth to a gravestone already cold, buried in brown skin, an American tradition. My badge, a burning cross passed down from his father. I'll frisk you with my fists, bounce questions off of your head. My boy is only 7, please, he doesn't have a weapon. His hands are up. I see his hands as weapons. I see his sputtered breaths as insults to my authority. Hands up, police officer, he's only a kid. I give you the 21 gun salute, black man. Refuse to show mercy, though you do not attack, black man. I gift you with a new layer of skin. Yours is dirty, uncleanable, white skin of powdered chalk spread out neatly on the pavement. Try it on. Try it on. We are men of religion. Please don't kill me. We have seen worse. Stop. He didn't do anything. And yet we can't tell the difference between a kid and a criminal leaving the grocery store. His hands are up. Mama, please don't let them kill me. And there's more. He doesn't have a weapon, too many to name. Trayvon, William, Michael, all of these body bags start looking the same. Jeremy, Thomas, Tony. What a shame. Bang! We are here to protect you.
We have an 8.0, an 8.2, a 9.1, an 8.9, and a 9.2. Yes! All right, you want to pick the next name? Are you going? No, we're doing the total. 25.2. Yeah. Woo. All right, next up we have Laura.
Is that good?
It should be. Cool. Hello, I'm Laura. I'm a freshman, so yeah, this will be good. This poem is called When I Return. When I return to the worn-down dirt roads where all the gravel tumbled away, leaving behind the dried-up potholes, like the earth's own hidden scars, there I will stand on the edge of my world, remembering all those times I ran, skinning and falling, my knees, and the blood will ooze out from inside of me, and the dust will cake there. When I return, I will take a walk in my forest, a wanderer once more alone, and with each step I take, leaving flowers growing behind in tangled bunches, and the trees here will bow down to me, and all the birds will sing my name, for I am the one, and I am the one, and I will move on. And the creek will burble slowly across my worn-down, tired feet, for I have been walking for quite some time now. When I return to cornfields and dead summer ponds, I'll bring with me my fishing pole and my lines, never catching anything besides those lies, but luckily for me, this game is strictly catch and release, so I walk home alone, empty-handed and empty-hearted. When I return, I will hold that small wooden box with me, and I will rub my hands along its smooth chestnut lid before throwing it back into the ocean from which it came, and I will watch it sink deep beyond hopes of retrieval. forgotten by all but myself. When I return, I will drive up into the mountains, into the dense world of alder trees covered in moss and ferns, and I'll eat the dappled light that filters through the canopy. I will bring with me 1,000,000 bottles and shoot, scattering their broken shards against the untouched snow, and I won't miss a single time, because when I return, my aim will be true. When I return, the clouds will be bright. Screaming, child, this is for you, and the sunset shall be golden, cascading their light, their life onto everything and anything I will ever see, and illuminating the rows upon rows and rows of hazelnuts and Christmas trees, all the time reminding me that all that's left of you is me, and that I am here still. It is I who am your living and breathing history, for when I return, you'll be here with me. And we'll revisit all these places that I found these little pieces of myself, and when you'll come back one day, you'll leave your own pieces for someone else to find.
We got an 8.4, 8.0, 8.1, 8.2, and 8.5. Yeah.
Also, there was a slight error calculating Vida's, so it's at 26.2. Woo! Also, only the 3 judges in the middle scores go to the total, in case that was confusing anyone. Yeah.
Like they take out the high and they take out the low score. All right, let's pick another one. All right, we got a 24.7 for Laura.
And next up, we have Uwah. Woo!
Hi, my name is Uwah, and my poem is called The Past and the Present. Looking at the night sky, thinking over all the memories, all the stories I heard when our lives slowly passed by. Moving from Somalia to Kenya was a big maze, and how it took us 30 days thinking Somalia was close to Kenya, because they didn't have a map, they didn't have food, and my grandma was sick, so what were they supposed to do? But right now all I can say is after 15 days, everyone felt like dying, crying, sighing, but they would never get sick of trying. Nothing stops them, even though guns were at every checkpoint. Finally, when they arrived, it was like looking on top of a tall building, a mountain, or even a sky, and gets to scream with steam, saying they did this as a team, and it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Then in between the 2 years they stayed, they had a baby girl, then a baby boy. That means there's going to be more joy. Then, as you could see, we moved to America as refugees, and that year another baby girl arrived. The hardest thing to learn was the language and the culture. They had to fit in and engage, which was really hard. These memories will always be scarred. Anyway, as time passes, 2000 it has become. Now you've seen where I've come from. 4 years later, they had their last baby boy. Sometimes he makes me so annoyed. He's like a decoy. 2 years later, my dad died just when I was 6. That part in my heart will never get fixed. Everyone's emotions were mixed. Time felt like it was going slow motion. 9 years later, I had my 8th grade promotion. At that time, babies weren't babies anymore. Everyone has grown. But something that blew my mind was that at the time, my sister had some surgeries. That was the hardest thing we have ever been through lately, but greatly she's fine. Now let me define my family. Mainly, I have 5 sisters, 3 brothers, and I have 2 nephews, 3 nieces. Anyway, at least you've seen our past and our present. Even though some things were unpleasant, the thing that got us through the tough times was to think positive and always have hope.
All right, judges. I'm shooting for 10s on this one. Okay. Yeah. All right, I see a 7.3, a 6.0, an 8.1, a 7.0, and a 6.8. Thank you, guys. 21.2.
All right, let's welcome up Alex Harris to the stage next.
I gotta bring that up a little bit.
Yeah. Is that good?
Yeah, this seems about right. How y'all doing tonight? All right. I got a little something for you. This one's called Bums. I met him on the corner. He was standing next to several bags of assorted garbages. The average person would have thought they were his belongings. I asked him how he was doing, and he said, "Cold, but otherwise okay." I asked him how long he'd been here. He said, "Oh, I came up here from Eugene about 2 months ago. Been staying up here with my crew about as long." "Your crew?" I asked. "Yeah, as long as we've been staying up here, we've been trying to make a positive impact. Me and my crew have been cleaning up the garbage along this stretch of freeway right here." "Is that what that is?" I said, pointing towards the bags. "Oh, that's just what we picked up today." "Damn." "Yeah. ODOT came by the other day and told us that since we're pretty much doing a public service that we have until January to figure out a proper living situation." A professional landscaper with no place left to go. Hordes of kids kicked out of their homes because their parents couldn't accept them for who they really are. And, of course, hordes of those who simply don't fit inside the box. Every time I see one of those souls whose skin has been dyed a dark brown from the days of standing begging for change in the blistering sun while 1,000 semi-trucks blow past every hour on the dot, my heart bleeds a little more than it usually does, pumps a little harder, or simply stops altogether and lets all the platelets flow free through my body so I can muster up the strength to ask myself, who lets this happen? For every kid sleeping on a tarp at the hop out while the rain pools up all around them, there's a junkie waiting just around the corner who would twist a knife around his heart just to feel life, if only for a brief moment. For every shell-shocked veteran sitting on the Burnside Bridge at dawn, waiting, just waiting for those shelter doors to open their doors again, there's a man from Lake Oswego on his way to work in a cherry red Beamer to scream, "Get a fucking job!" When they get to the shelters, they are told that God saves, God is the answer, God is the light, God will set you free. But this is a city of heathens. And we tell ourselves that a God is not necessary for a man to have compassion and morals. If that's true, why don't we prove it?
All right, wow, starting off with a 9.4, a 9.3, an 8.6, an 8.3, and an 8.9. Yes, yes, Alex. That's a lot. All right, what do we got here? What do we got? 26.8. Woo! Okay. What's that?
Next up, we have Django.
Hello, my name is Django. My poem is called What's in a Slam? What's in a slam? Is it the recitation of rhythmic rhyming paired perfectly with an awestruck audience cultivating captivation from a house that's astounded and confounded as it pounded in words of sin from the ethereal writing material in my head as I bred ideas on a page? Or is a slam something different? Is it more of a way that you say and project intellect and maybe get a little bit angry? But there is where I have problems, because I can't stand a slam where all poems sound bland. It's the uniqueness that beats away the bleakness, and without it, there's the slam's weakness. Though maybe this whole pile of slam style is a bit out of style. Let's take it back a century or so and see where we go. It is to thee of which my words do fly, thou Judges 5, for love I sing my song. Alas, thy love is scores. Is this not wrong? But yea, 'tis for the audience I cry. But does iambic pentameter fit in these slam parameters? Maybe not. But at least I'm more diverse than the last time I rehearsed. So, come on, my man, it's time we took the slam to Japan. A springtime poem with 17 syllables. Softly I move minds. Although if everyone wrote in haikus, you know, this whole show would take 10 minutes or so. So let's go. There once was a fellow in school who tried much too hard to be cool. In his work he compiles far too many styles, and the audience thinks him a fool. And well, I bet I could go on a meta vendetta. I better just take it back, because that's not what the slam's about. So what is it about? What's the deal with this storm of slam form? Is it you, the judges, judging unjustly? Is it us, the poets, producing parallel pieces? I don't know, but we seem to be stuck in a stagnant state, creating carbon copy compositions. And look, I don't mean to be dissing anyone's work, because each of your speeches are fantastic pieces. I just wish the society would give a little more notoriety to poetic variety. So what's in a slam? One poet, an audience, and a poem. Add 2 eggs, stir, bake at 350. Thank you!
We got our first 10 of the evening. It might appear as a 1.0, but 'tis not. A 9.3, a 9.5, a 9.7, and a 9.9. I love it.
I'm like, yeah. All right, we got 29.1. Woo! Signy?
It's like Signy.
Signy?
Yes.
You said it.
Next up, we have Signy.
Okay, this piece is pretty short, and it's called Monster. Picture a monster in your mind. Now ask yourself, what makes it a monster? Is it because it has long claws, covered in hair, or has sharp teeth? Is it because it has something that most of us don't? Is it because it looks different? To me, all monsters are human. A human, the most cruel, ignorant, and lazy living being on this earth. We are the ones who rip others to shreds. Not the fuzzy monsters we fear under our beds. We are the ones who take loved ones from others, not the sharp-toothed critter in your head. We are the ones who traumatize others, not the sharp claws we fear in the night. We are the ones who break others, not the monsters who haunt us in our dreams. Because we are the true monsters. We look like you, and hell, we are you. And we, as human beings, are the reason why children grow fur upon your image or claws and teeth to finish. They do that to disguise us. They don't want to believe that mommy or daddy could be the monster in their beds.
Ooh, okay, we got a 7.6, an 8.0, an 8.5, an 8.3, and 6.8. Woo! I encourage booing on that one. All right, we got 23.9.
All right, next up we want to welcome Colleen to the stage.
is a letter to all those animals we deem as products. And they stood there shaking. What are you going to do to us? What now? Where are you taking us? What did I do wrong? I'll tell you what you did wrong. You had the nerve to be born into a gluttonous, murderous world that would rather see you chopped up and with a barcode than go one meal without your flesh. You had the nerve to assume that your mother's milk was meant for you, your fur meant to keep you warm, and the worst offense of all, that your life was meant to be your own. And we will sit there and proudly state that real men eat steak. We will lust after your skin as if it would make us so sophisticated to wear it, as if it is so aesthetic to wear the skin that was meant for you. We do not think that it's glamorous for you to wear your own. That is disgusting. Do you think you're better than me? You are not aesthetic. There is nothing attractive about your skin being peeled off after an electric rod was shoved up your ass. That is just common practice. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We are dying of heart disease and polluting the planet to such an extent that Greenland will be gone, but we do not care as long as our milk is fresh and our chicken crispy. There is no money in keeping you alive, so I will hang you and your family upside down and slit your throat. I will stuff you in a room full of strangers and watch you suffocate on noxious gas, trampling each other, and I will call it humane. Your body is mine. Your children are mine. I will rape your mother by hand over and over again. Send her babies away the minute they are born. Mother cows cry and scream for days after they lose a child, usually until their throats give out. Got milk?
All right, we got an 8.4, a 9.1, a 7.9, an 8.4, and an 8.1. Oh wait, they're gonna tally. I know.
All right, we got a 24.9 for Colleen. Let's give her another round of applause. All right, we would like to welcome Kaleb to the stage.
Hello. Sweet. Whew. Worked. What do you want me to do with it? That good? I think it feels good. There we are. Perfect. Oh, yeah. Hey, so this is, my poem is rough draft number 5. Discontent fills my bone marrow, makes me feel like lead. To carry myself tall is not a task I'm always up for. Every morning I wake up in a stupor, and just before the reasoning can come back to me, I forget of my responsibilities given to me by people who forget I need to take care of myself, and then I remember every little thing I have to do, didn't do, and forget how to take care of myself. So I put on a cute skirt to make myself feel a little better. And I go to school to try to be a little better, and then when that last bell rings, it's a relieving ring, and then I try to figure out how to not go home. I try to see how long I can avoid coming back to where the gravity is a little thicker, and I feel worried. I damn myself by running from my responsibilities, and it doesn't help that I'm a good runner. I create these amazing problems like a grand wizard, just a handful of homework, a sprinkle of apathy, and just a few drops of self-loathing. And poof! I want to die. Except I don't want to die. I love life. Life is beautiful and sunny and fun, and I want to squeeze every last drop of value from this life like it was a puppy that was just a little too cute. I want to create art that challenges ideas, causes grand uproars of laughter, cheers are up, rage. I want to make art that is fun, funny, funky, and makes you uncomfortable. What my ramblings and my difficulties I create and the life I want to create are really boiling down to, I don't know. I know that I don't know. What I don't know is my emotions, my opinions, my answers to the test, what I want to do with my life, and the pronunciation of names when they're read aloud. Because that's really hard. I mean, it really is. But what I want to say is I'm trying really hard, and I'm proud of that, even if it's not working out how I'd like it to. Thank you.
Ooh, I see an 8.4, 8.1, 7.9, 8.6, and an 8.7. I think overall the audience could do a little more snapping when they like what they're hearing. The front row's doing really great though. All right, waiting for a tally. 25.1. All right, Allia, let's go, Allia, yep.
All right, this is called Syrian. What does Syrian mean to you? Does it mean terrorist? Run away, slam the door, because I know for sure they're all out to kill us, convert our kids, subvert the purity of our nation. Syrian is synonymous with danger. Or does it mean victim? If America is the land of the free, then Syria is the land of the oppressed, of the persecuted, hounded, and chased. And if that's the case, then we've got to help those poor, powerless people, unable to move but an inch without the helping hand of the U.S. invading their land. Syrian is synonymous with invalid, stuck with a status less than human. Or does Syrian mean home? A country you love torn to pieces. It seems like everyone wants a slice of the Syrian pie, just not of the people. It means that you've got a new label called refugee and you're forced to flee at 15. Forced to be in a country where all anyone says every day is go away. We don't want you. And maybe all you can see is that day at school when your teacher told you to hide, crawl under the desk, close your eyes and pray. And you got out, survived, but you are not okay, because that was the day when your life fell apart, and like a dart to the heart you realized that nothing would ever be the same, and you didn't even know who to blame, because bombs feel like bombs, no matter whose side they come from. Maybe that's what Syrian means. A glimmer of a past you can't reclaim, replaced by a future of hellish horror. But to me, Syrian has always meant grandpa. It means auntie and uncle and a kiss on both cheeks, but be careful, cause sometimes auntie goes in for 3. It means kibbe, grape leaves, and spinach pies and the 4th of July. It means doctors and engineers and the AC king of the Middle East. It means more cousins than I can count, constantly bantering, bickering, blethering barefoot on the back deck. Syrian is synonymous with family, good, bad, and in between. So next time you rant about the refugee, remember that it is not an all-encompassing identity and that Syrian means more than a slammed door or a brutal war. It means more than terrorist or victim, because at its core, Syrian is just as complex, diverse, terrifying, and beautiful as American. And every time you say no on policy to the Syrian refugee, remember that he or she is just as human as me. Thank you.
All right, let's get some scores. They're thinking hard. We got a 9.4, 8.7, 9.4, 9.1, and 9.3. Woo! That's gonna be a good total. That's gonna be a good total. Yep. 27.8. She's second. All right. Next up, Nathan.
This system's really nerve-wracking. Cause like you can't prepare for doing these poems at all. Somewhere in the world, clenching his fist, sat on the edge of an endless abyss, a boy sits thinking, what's wrong with it all? Should he rise to his knees or just take the fall? And with him the world, they weep and they cry, wondering why, but still standing by, as a psyche so fragile, please handle with care, is crushed by the stress he is too young to bear. And so he thinks to himself, I'll give it one shot, tired from all the long nights he has fought. A tear down his face as he thinks of the things that he regrets today, and his ears start to ring as his brain turns to mush and his temperature rises. He throws away all of his bullshit disguises and he shouts to the world just what he wants as a joy connoisseur, a pleasure savant. He wants to know all that the world can provide him, but little does he know that it's all inside him, and just for a moment he feels it. The people, they're keen, they see me, they hear me, they know what I mean, but it's only a moment, and the clock still stands tall, so he returns to his standstill, debating the fall.
We have a 9.0, an 8.9, a 9.1, a 9.3, and an 8.7. For a total of 27. Next up, we have Ilse.
Hold on, I'm short. Okay. I can safely say the happiest moments, they congregate craftily in coffee shops, hovering, hidden, hard to find. I can safely say the happiest moments are imbued in the illustrious ink of pens, pouring out penetrating prose. I know others of my kind would agree, my kind being, of course, writers, a species of creators, character carvers, crisp crinkling paper lovers of our creations, towards whom we have mixed feelings. Hey, you! Just because I wrote you into being doesn't give you the right to keep me up till the wee hours of the morning. Doesn't mean you have the gift of seeing where you fit next into my story, my own characters, my creations, not of flesh and bone, but pen and ink or anything but obsequious. Sometimes they come alive with minds of their own, pulling at the bit, eager to start the race in the opposite direction of where I tell them to go. Yes, this is for those feisty, stubborn, scream-inducing subjects of mine. I love you, fight though we do. My regency is no egalitarian society, nay, I am cruel if my characters don't conform to propriety, then off with their heads, the Queen of Hearts declares as society shouts at me, STEM, learn science, go cure a disease. Sorry, pal, I'm a creature of murky language and tenebrous mystery. Amid the hustle and bustle of my hectic life, I sneak time for the rustle and shuffle of my friends that are bound not by skin, but by leather. Not one for the limelight. I far prefer the backdrop of written words and gloomy moors, When I die, someone will sort through the 64 different notebooks in my room and piece together my life story like a patchwork quilt. Take all the half-baked beginnings and nurture them, digging deep to find the quiddity of a simple poem or even short story. Sure, we writers might not get much sleep, but if someone were to capture me, lock me in a dark room, no light to see, I could make that room a fantasy, a dream come true. Barren self-forgotten. I've been more places in my mind than any great sage traveler could journey to in a lifetime. Letters and words, they build and they stack first sentences and paragraphs. There's no looking back, well, until you finish your first draft. Maybe I get a little egotistical, but I mean, who doesn't want to feel a bit like a god sometimes? The adrenaline, the rush of pure making, flesh and bone and soul, paper and ink and glue, coffee and minds, and there it is. Labor pains, labor gains, half-conscious, to me they're all the same. My hands and fingers are bandaged, blisters and battle wounds are worth it because I've just birthed another child. I add it to the paper stack. Don't worry, love, I whisper. I'm coming back. Admittedly, it might be a year or two, but if you find yourself one of the lucky few, we writers, we word weavers, we weary wanderers of our own wistful, wild thoughts will make you into something great. So a shout out to all those authors I know who cry in frustration over making words fit just right. I get that. To my friends, comrades, artists, future Shakespeares and Rowlings, we're on this wild ride together.
Wow, all right, 9.0, 9.2, 9.2, 9.3, and 8.8. Woo! There you go, yep. Yeah.
And let's give a round of applause for our score talliers because they are going non-calculator. All right, we got a 27.4.
All right. Megan. Are you ready? Yep. Yes, you are. Let's go. Let me get this.
I'm really nervous. Okay. This is to the people who have been bullied. I know where you are from first grade to now. I've been called stupid, slut, whore, dumb, loudmouth, you name it. I've been there and I know what you're going through. From the tear-stained mornings to the dreaded walk through the hallways, the pushing and shoving. I've seen bloody beatings, punches in the face, the stomach, the gut, and way more. I've seen people getting name-called from retarded to dumbass to slut and way more names than that. Let me just say one thing to you. Stay strong. Tell them to back off. Keep fighting. You are better than those bullies that push you around. This poem is to the people who have been through the pain of people making fun of them. This poem is to the people who have been pushed to the ground and laughed at because of it. This poem is for you.
We got a 7.2, an 8.1, an 8.2, a 7.1, and another 7.1. For a total of 22.4. Next up, we have Amaya.
Brown girl, you too can succeed. You're beautiful, descended from kings and queens. Brown girl, you have power, strategy, and ease. Flaunt what you have and know from where you've come. Culture is everything, so appreciate what your people have done. Stay woke, aware, and speak the truth. Educate the ignorant, the closed-minded, or the ones that don't know what you do. Educate yourself. Open your mind and expand. People of color, your people have been struggling for years. Don't be scared. Be their voice. Stand up and make a choice. Oh, brown girl, your options are endless. Point out the problems and understand them. You should have privilege too. Oh, and so should they. Equality is within your reach, so stand up and have a say. Don't be a statistic, a stereotype, or another. Be yourself, a person of color. The beautiful brown girl who has so much to say, because at the end of the day, racism is alive in here, but definitely not to stay.
We got an 8.0, an 8.2, 8.9, 8.2, and 8.3. Thank you, judges. All right, here we go. 24.7. All right, welcoming to the stage next, we have Michelle.
Oh, this is scary. Colored skin shows proof we work hard. Learn how to speak English at the age of 4. Making fun of my colors, you're making fun of yours. Don't front. The only one I'll catch phases is Donald Trump. Black slaveries were never unnecessary. You look at them like they're scary. Browns, there's so many stereotypes about them. They think they're criminals, drug dealers. No, we're all good listeners. Yellow's around, you'll never see one with a frown. White, I might not be right, but I just write. Since it's daytime, they won't need a flashlight to see us. But if Trump wins, I will fight, and I will fight for my rights. We're all the same, you don't agree with me, you'll end up in the Hall of Fame. But not a fame, it's called the Hall of Shame.
All right, we got a 6.8, an 8.0, an 8.7, a 7.4, and 7.6. All right. Math.
All right, we got score 23. Also, another great form of applause or flattery is this one, like the bow down. I recommend that one also. It's slightly below this one.
All right, next up we have David.
Hello, my name is David, and my poem I wrote is called Slammin'. Expression, the process of making known one's thoughts and feelings. Not assuming, but making them known. I know this may be hard when there are things in the way, but there will be a way, they say. The only way to express my feelings is in my heart. To follow it, to understand it, to use it. To use my heart, not part of it, but all of it. And words tiptoe to the tip of people's mouths and slip, unexpectedly, but carelessly, and then disappear. The waterfall will still keep going, but in the end, where will all the water go? Wasted words will bombard me. They will wrap around my body, and some may enter my head, but none of them will reach my heart. Because only strong, slammed words, whether slammed by me or to me, can make it in. I know there is no formula, equation, rule, or law to to slam my own words. My words are free. They come from the center of my heart. They float around like bubbles, but they will never pop, and my heart will never stop, ever.
All right, scores are ready. We got a 7.3, an 8.0, a 7.9, a 7.0, and a 6.8. Thank you, judges. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah.
Does everyone hear this beautiful music being played? She's just going. It's so good. Oh my gosh. Where did you just even write? Okay. 22.2. Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Andrew Clark.
Hello. Oh. Yikes. Is that good? Hey. Hi, I'm Andrew. First time at a poetry slam, or not at a poetry slam, but speaking at poetry slam. I hate the sound of my voice. Jesus. All right. Let's do this. This one is short and sweet, and it's about her. She is an early sunrise, tiptoeing over people like cities, careful not to bother. She cradles me like the moon and supports me like the sun. Her eyes are faded lapis lazuli, deep and old like the ocean, but they sparkle in the sunlight, and I am her sunlight. The light of her whole world, I feel just as old, but just as inferior. Her arms spread and embrace me because in her lapis lazuli eyes, I am a perfect being. She accepts me as an equal beauty, though I could never match the same beauty that her heart puts out. In the same respect, she's the sun, and she's the light of my whole world, and I am the ocean forever changing, never the same wave, and yet she still accepts me. She is a religion. She shares her soul with me, and in return, I look to her for guidance like a god. She also has struggles, but she does not let them become her, because she is selfless and she is her own self-destruction. And alcoholism may have been her undoing, but it was not her downfall. Because even though she is a human being working for weeks and months and years to create a home for herself and her child, did not make her seem like any less of a goddess, and for that I adore her. But the other people don't see that. They see a woman who works too hard and dreams too little. They see a person who is fierce and loud and will put you in your place. And while she lets these visions go, they will never see what I see. A woman who stays up till 2 a.m. watching TV with a child who dreams too much and sleeps too little. Because she has been in the same place and she wants him to be better. She is caring and soft and sweet and is more of a pushover than she leads others to believe. She loves Mexican food and jigsaw puzzles and is so addicted to coffee you might as well hook her up to an IV filled with the stuff. I love her with every note I can scream to the heavens because I'm in the darkness of the ocean and she is the sunlight who pulls me back every time. And while in real life her lapis lazuli eyes are darker and more tired than the images I create, my mother is a goddess in my eyes and she will be until hell freezes over. Thank you.
Alright, we got an 8.6, an 8.8, a 9.0, an 8.7, and an 8.8. Kinda wanna boo you, but okay. Yeah. And remember, 10 poets go to the next round.
7.
Okay, 7. 7. Wasn't it 10? That's it. Yeah, I get that. All right, for a score of 26.3.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Wren. Okay.
to recover from that. Okay. When politicians take the stand and speak to the masses, a common phrase with practiced passion is spoken. The actors that lead our society say, the children are the future. But who are they to put this on us? Baby boomers, the Generation X, ran our environment into the ground. They murdered our economy, and they transformed good members of our world into criminals worthy of life in the eyes of the law. What kind of futures are you speaking to? The sons of doctors and senators? How about the waitress's daughter that can't finish her English paper because she's too busy singing her siblings to bed? Or the boy that can't finish that calculus packet because he has to work the late night shift at Walgreens so he can just dream of college? Are you mentioning plaid skirts in prep schools? What about flashing red lights and cold metal against dark skin? They say the children are the future with such ease. Some kids get their futures mailed to them. Check yes for an MD and no for charity. You can't expect us to be any better than you because we haven't had those role models. We've had children. No, I apologize. That's offensive to my generation. We've had grown men acting destructively. So when you talk to my generation, remember who you are addressing. You are speaking to the most influential people in our society. In 50 years, it'll be us speaking this propaganda to the day's youth. It'll be us saving our world or running through the last of our resources. It'll be us, the leaders, or the anarchists. But what kind of future are you? Peers, I know it's not fair that time's uncontrollably hurtling towards us, but it's not the old folks' fault. Time bends to no one. I just want to tell you a couple things before our future arrives. No matter what you have done so far, how much or how little, you still have plenty of time. That's the beautiful thing about youth. As much as it is fleeting, it is everlasting. But don't forget, what you do now will always carry with you. If you don't want to be some dumb statistic or the crazy white guy on CNN, then don't be. What kind of future are you? Wait. Better question. What kind of future do you want? Do you want those white picket fences or those steel bars separating you from your family? Do you want to be the parent that truly never was there, or the one who was? Sometimes we get trapped in a circle, a box we've been told by one stereotype or another is inescapable, but I need to tell you something. That circle is just a chain waiting to break that box we've been placed in, made of flimsy cardboard. And fellow future leaders, it is up to us to destroy them. Thank you.
Okay, we got an 8.7, an 8.4, an 8.7, 8.2, and 8.2.
Do you have any jokes? I don't have any jokes. I don't know. Oh my god.
All right, 25.3. All right, we got Lily up next. Let's go. What? Okay, I won't move it.
She says, this isn't how you win a poetry slam. She says, if you write a meta poem about how to win a poetry slam, you won't win anything. I say, I have nothing to lose. She says, start with comedy. So, a girl walks into a bar, walks up to the mic and says, she says, this isn't how you win a poetry slam. She says, don't talk about romance and don't be too passionate. She says, start simple, pick something easy to digest, a call to action is best. She says, don't think too much. Write everything down, start from the ground up. Build a foundation, write lines like cinder blocks, put rhymes like insulation, install imagery like windows. Put them everywhere. Their gleaming panes busting against the veneer of their frames as they keep back canopies of constellations. She says use tone. Be sultry and seductive. She says a good subject is key. Potential potential subjects for my potential poem. 5 ways to wear a blazer. 10 things I wish somebody would have told me before I shrunk my sweater. How to talk around topics you'd rather not talk about. My psychiatrist and other awkward white men. My history teacher and other good role models. How to talk to that pretty girl in your English class. How to explain to that pretty girl in your English class that you are actually severely insane. How to survive 10 days on a psych ward. Hint, it involves high addiction, medication, and my relationship with my dog. Introduction, the memoir I will write when I am 30. Letter to my future wife. Letter to my future ex-wife. How to hold your baby brother for the first time. How to make promises you will not keep. How to be discreet when the world is falling apart. Hint, it involves high addiction. 5 places I'd rather be right now. 5 things I'm looking for. 5, 4, 3, 2, done. Why this battle will never be won. She says, watch what you do with your hands. Don't tense up. Don't think too much. She says, performance isn't everything, but it's more than enough. She says, be confident. She says, remember, whatever the judges say, you are good enough. She says, you just said enough twice. I ask how to end a slam poem. She says, poems don't conclude like essays. She says, summarize. She says, bring it home. She says, bring it back to the beginning. She says, this is how you write a slam poem.
Let's go! Wow, we got a 10, 9.6, 9.5, 9.5, and 9.9! Woo! Wow, let's go! Yep. 29 for Lily. 29. Can you get the name?
Thanks. Next up, we have my homegirl, Isabel Schulte.
Let's go, Isabel!
Thank you. This is my fan base. Let's see. All right. My poems don't have titles. My songs have titles. My poems have no titles. Before I was connected to the immense infinity of information now incessantly at our fingertips, I didn't know how much was wrong. How bubbled, covered, sheltered, and protected I was from the monsters that lived under the beds and in the closets of the world, the monsters that even grown-ups were afraid of. The shield of wealth, whiteness, youth, and yellow hair, of my mother and father's love, of whispered arguments behind shut doors, should have left me perfectly fine, absolutely great, 101% normal, right? Well, is it normal to crave Lucky Charms with a burning passion at 3 a.m. after you finally finished your homework? Maybe. Normal to turn your phone volume way up so when your soulmate tells you in the middle of the night they feel like dying, you'll wake up? Maybe. Normal to parent your parents, to explain to grown-ass men and women that human rights and equal treatment are more important than their discomfort and politeness? Maybe. Normal to get so much joy from glitter that you cake it on your face every morning like battle armor, hoping it'll reflect not only the light but the outside world too, hoping it'll reflect all the negative thoughts and personal put-downs right outside your body and let them float away like a balloon with a string cut off. To feel like a balloon with a string cut off. Is it normal to think about old age and your will and your legacy even though you've never even filed taxes? Well, maybe, because you'll realize that knocked up knees and knocked out teeth become tired eyes, and I'm fine lies become secret wars, and greater horrors become the cause and the effect of those whispered arguments behind shut doors. And maybe you'll hear the word Sonder for the very first time, and finally you'll feel all your pieces plummeting into place. Well, maybe it's these thoughts that connect you to the infinity of infinity infinitely, because honestly, what in the world is normal about that? Thank you.
All right, we
got an 8.7, a 9.0, an 8.9, a 9.2, and a 9.5. Yes, Miss Miller. I'm booing those 8s on the inside. All right, score 27.1. Yes, Isabel.
JR or Junior? All right, we got JR up next. Let's go.
This is called Game Over. I always thought life was a game. But then, on March 28, 2016, I realized that we don't get 3 lives, no power-ups. First loss I truly experienced. On that day, an A day, period 1, Miss Moore's Intros to Law class, the first thing she says, "We have lost a student here at Franklin." We are all shocked, looking around to see who is missing. Once she says his name, we all start crying. If I could talk to him right now, I would say, why? Why did you leave us? Why did you leave all your friends and family? Why did you leave when I just started to get to know you? I never knew how many things a person can hide behind a smile. I was told to get over it. Now that's gonna take a while. I sit there in B6, staining my jacket in tears. Tears that I cried for you. Salty tears that was stored in me for a while. That's what I regret. I didn't know you. I barely knew you. I barely knew a great person who always encouraged me in PE, a person loved by so many, a person everyone misses, a person named Tristan Tate. He had many talents. He was always entertaining. He was a brother, a friend, a son. You can see now that the sun is out more, but the days seem darker. Tristan, you left too soon. I'm gonna miss you.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being the voice for this community. That was really beautiful. Yeah. Because that poem was so lovely, we're just going to have a brief moment of silence for Tristan Tate. All right, thank you, everyone. I don't know how long moments of silence are supposed to be. Oh, I didn't know that. All right, the scores from the judges. 8.0, 7.8, 7.6, 7.5. Catch your breath, everyone. It's too emotional? Yeah, I feel that. All right, we won't count your score if that's all right, Miss Childs. Well, can we count the 3 high? All right, an 8.4, beautiful. Thank you, JR. Genius, thank you.
All right. 23.4. All right, cool. We have 1 poet left right now, and that is Andrew. Let's go, Andrew.
Damn, I'm really here. trust in. That was a good poem, man. So, my name is Andrew. Hopefully that rings some bells, and if it don't, man, hopefully I give you this bell. Delivering a message seems so easy and simple. Each time the pen hits my paper and I get to writing, all the pain excavates its way out and all the wounds heal. And if you want to add some sugar, play a beat and feel my melody, because, man, I'm that real. And when the day comes that I'm set to rest, diverse tempos and lyrics gonna spill out my soul. And I say that because clearly I'm my own character, and I got my own tone, personality, likes and dislikes, and I got my own skin. July 4th, 1776. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This was written to start new and fresh, to break away and be independent. Not so 200, 300 years later we could take advantage. We've been given a chance to coexist, not to rule and conquer. What kind of world is this if we walk outside and discriminate, segregate, dominate, and hate against one another? Just because of this. Why was I given this? I'm sure it was not to be so I could be a target. I could reach inside and cut out my heart in exchange for peace and equality. And when I open up that bag with peace and equality written on it, I come to find little notes. They read, "Go back to your country. Wet back. Your discrimination." When people say them types of things, I feel like I've been shot and how the bullet is dissolving inside. If the scars actually showed, I would present them. And man, my chest would be looking like connect the dots. And see, what I don't understand is I'm not even a bad person. Like they be assuming. I play sports and I go to school. I'm on track with no intention of derailing. And if one day somebody managed to break my arms and my legs, I'll still find a way to get back up. And if somebody wanted to step at me with discriminatory words, I would get back up. Now, some of y'all might agree and disagree with what I've written here tonight, but y'all raise your hand if you would be my backup.
Awesome, thank you. If I was teary-eyed and had to recite a poem, it would just be screeches. It would be so bad. Okay. All right, that was our last poet, by the way. Yeah, nice job to all y'all. So we'll be going to intermission next, and then afterwards, Sunny will announce, or one of them will announce the winners. Great. Yeah, the ones who go to the second round. All right, we got an 8.3, an 8.9, an 8.7, an 8.4, and an 8.8.
All right, that was 25.9 for Andrew. Very nice, Andrew.
You are our girl duo role models. All right, so we'll be doing 7 poems in this portion, and they'll be drawn out of that bowl once again. Yeah. All right, in the final, we have Alex, Allia, Django, Ilse, Isabel, Lily, and Nathan. And to all you that did not make it into the final, everyone should have, but it's not the way life works. So. All right. Did you get a name? Yes. All right. First, we have Lily Lamadrid.
What do you call a bunch of people waiting for what looks like red lemonade? It's a punchline. And what do you call a scholarly summary of your favorite desserts? It's a treat.
It's funny, because these are symptoms of my mood disorder. What do you call two bears sitting in a room? Bipolar. And what is the earth? Bipolar. And what am I when I'm manic? Bipolar. They say this disease is chronic, so they stuck me on mood stabilizers and antipsychotics. What do you call your mom's crazy sister? Antipsychotic. You know, I can't read on this medication. They call this palliation. I swear it feels like incarceration. What's black and white and red all over? A newspaper. Something I can't read. A sunburned penguin with a poker face. Someone no one can read. And what do heretical fish speak? Blasphemy. And why don't people move after they've killed themselves? They're suicidal. And why do sad pants always look so good? They're depressed. And why are waterfowl so crazy? Well, they're all lunatics. And what do you call a country with a psychotic population? It's a hallucination. And what do you tell a future alcoholic hung up on petty problems? Stop whining. And how do dishonest people make soap? They use lies. And what is unrequited love next to a fireplace? A broken hearth. It's funny. My psychiatrist says I hide behind humor. Consider it a coping mechanism. I wrap my worries in witticisms, hide my doubts behind punchlines, my pain under puns. I have built an armor of derision, my plates produced with precision. Go ahead, try to find a chink in my chainmail. You will fail when you find I'll carry my deadpan to the grave. Serious, on the other hand, is not my strong suit. Serious makes me uncomfortable. I am scared I will make you uncomfortable if I let you see the ugly parts. This disease is the monster that used to live under your bed, doing a bunch of cocaine and then nestling itself inside of your soul. If I were to show you my monster, all grown up, I would not blame you for running. And yet I know that you'll be standing right here when I find a way to tell you about the bad days without the melee of mockery. What do you do when you're lonely in a boat? You go looking for friendships. And what do you do if you're not sure if a Scandinavian is done? You ask him if he's finished. And how do you end a poem with a pun? I'm not sure, but I'm gonna poetry. How do you cure a mood disorder? For this one, I don't know the punchline.
I see a 10 already.
Wow. Woo. All right. All right, put them back up. Put them back up. No? Yeah? Did you guys get those? I got them. $29.6. All right, next up we have Nathan.
Okay, before I start, I'd like to give a shout out to Miss Garrett because I originally wrote this for her English class. And although maybe it's not the longest poem I could have written, it's certainly one that's important to me. My mindset may be clouded, my intentions may be doubted, for even if I were to shout it to them and you and me, share my thoughts for the world to see, could they truly understand? 'Cause it may seem like I'm apathetic, and giving that impression, I wholly regret it. It's really that I care way too much, not too little. It's been some time since I've been myself. I've yet had the chance to catch my breath, 'cause the endless cycle of going and going like a machine made of flesh and bone, going and going, told to have no mind of your own, going and going until you want to stop or shut down. Maybe you'll see me in a year or two, armed with a personality seemingly new, but in fact it's actually a vintage model. It's just that before I couldn't pay for the oil.
Can we get another round of applause for Nathan? That was great. All right, let's see those scores. 9.1, 9.0, 8.8, 9.2, and 9.5. Thank you, judges.
For a total of 27.3. Next up, my homegirl round 2, Isabel Schulte.
All right, yes, I changed my clothes. Don't worry about it. Breath. Breath of the earth, rustling through the trees, lifting your skirt, hair stuck on your lip gloss, that irreplaceable sound of the leaves letting you know that the sun still exists, and so does this moment. Breath in, breath of triumph, of life, of making it out of the womb, to the surface of the pool, to the top of the roller coaster, the arch in your back, the scariest moment of all, but you endure. Breath out. Breath of defiance, of I can do this, of I can show you, of heavy lifting and taking center stage and facing the emotional turmoil of working through an argument even though you know it will be hard. Breath in, breath out, breath of calming yourself, of we're in this together, of you have a center, and this too shall pass, and taking it back to the beginnings, the humble beginnings of self, yourself. Breath sharp as you're touched with gentleness and genuine care by someone you missed but didn't even know it. Of consent is as easy as I like you and you like me, and if you stand too close you'll get cooties. I mean, that's just common sense. Breath and hiccups as you saw about happiness and sadness, and who knew you had this much liquid in your face? Come on, here's a hug and a tissue, and let it all out, hun, you'll be okay. Breath in screams and singing and sobbing and laughter, becoming a vehicle for your emotions, your voice, your thoughts, your opinions, your fight, your desire, your anger, your love, because goddammit, you deserve this. Breath and eventually short, shallow bursts, leaving behind all the other breaths that ever oxidized your body and left you numb or tingling or dizzy, because now your heart will beat to a different drum and you'll begin to breathe the unknown. Back to the breath of the earth rustling through the trees, connecting infinity to the moment, the turtle to the hair, Madonna to Plato, and you to the rest of all existence, especially those grocery store sugar cookies, because I mean, honestly, what else really matters?
Can I get another hell yeah? So good, so good. All right, we got a 9.4, a 9.0, another 9.4, a 9.6, and a 9.5. Do you want to draw another name? Yeah. We have a new pianist, Eli Heighton on the piano. All right, Isabel got a score 28.3.
All right, next up to the stage, let's welcome Allia.
a facade that never comes down, only changes and morphs to fit the situation. I'm an imposter, a fake, a phony, a sham, a pretender. I'm pretending to be normal. Normal. What is that? I go to school because that's normal. I put on clothes that everyone wears. I brush my hair. I swipe mascara on my lashes and cover up my blemishes with skin-colored cream that I wish I could use on my brain. Just cover up the blemishes. Perfection for the mind. And if I'm perfect, if that's all I let anyone see, then they can't touch me. They can't notice. Can't notice my different, my other, my abnormal. They can't notice my not so impenetrable shield. Because I'm a facade that never comes down, only changes and morphs to fit the situation. I'm an imposter, a fake, a phony, a sham, a pretender. I'm pretending to be normal because there's a little bit of crazy inside. Not a lot, but enough that on long days or longer nights, I'm afraid that the crazy might start to show, to grow. What if it takes control or just takes its toll? What if one day I wake up and I'm not me anymore? I can feel it sometimes, waiting, ready to pounce if I ever let my guard down, if I ever decide to quit, to let myself get pulled in by the tide, if I ever let it inside. Most days, it leaves me alone, and I'm normal. But some days, the clicking of a pencil is enough to set my teeth on edge, infuriated every time my hair falls into my face. The tap, tap, tap of a loose branch on the window pane makes my skin start to itch. The constant pressure of life, of society, is like a lead weight in my gut, and I can't seem to escape the never-ending stream of anxiety, crushing me, squashing me until I can't breathe. My brain won't stop, it just keeps going, whirling onward, so many thoughts that just won't leave. And I'm afraid that someone will notice. And I'm afraid that no one will notice. That someday my little bit of crazy will win. So I'll punch and I'll pound, do anything to hold it down, lock it up, and throw away the key. Although, if the crazy dies, will what's left still be me? Thank you.
Thank you, Allia. Thank you. Can we get another round of applause? Are you guys enjoying this? Make some noise. All right, we got a 9.7, 9.3, 9.2, 9.6, and 9.5. Very nice, very nice. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Woo! 28.4 for Allia. All right, next up, let's welcome Django to the stage.
My poem is called The Ballad of the Dying King. The sword was forged in a passionate heart and quenched beneath the icy moon. The king, he was crowned in the early dawn and unseated at the highest noon. The bishop took the cooling blade of fire in his chest. He marched upon the open square and warmed it in the young king's breast. They took him to the palace gates and threw him to the cold. Crouched low, he raised a blood-stained fist and swore upon them hundredfold. Cried he, I swear my vengeance now! I'll live to see thy death! I'll lock thee in the cold embrace and kill thou with my final breath! With that he turned unto the cold, a fire in his chest, and rode off on his piebald mare into the bright horizon's crest. The young king came in the blackest night. His mare had fallen dead before. The peasant girl, she healed his wounds. Her parents laid in rest a score. The peasant girl, she waited by his side until the young king then awoke, when there she stood before his eyes and draped him in a warming cloak. And soon he learned the humble ways with all the common people there. The young king wore the peasant clothes, his pale skin showing 'neath the tears. And his love for the peasant girl, the young king soon confessed. And gently now he held her hand, a softened candle in his chest. They lived together through the years. The young king worked the crops and smiled with his true love's heart, his vengeance now forgot. The ring was forged in a tender heart and quenched beneath the silver moon. The king he was wed in the early dawn and widowed at the highest noon. The bishop's men, they took the young king's love and left her dying on the forest floor. The king, he found her body lying there and fallen to his knees before. The king, he watched through tear-streaked eyes her funeral moon lit and felt his rage inside ignite, the fire in his chest relit. The king, he stood before the palace gates, his callous fingers gripped a rusty blade. Cried he, I am the true and rightful king. I order thee, remove this barricade. Ye bishop, thou hast stolen away my throne, and yet I care not for thy golden crown. Thy sin is thou hast slain the one I love. For that I throw my gauntlet down. And so the bishop raised the palace gates. His hair gray and his eyes shone with regret. With empty hands the bishop met the king. The hand of vengeance ne'er he would forget. As fury filled the king, he charged. The archers on the wall drew ready. And as the king he raised his sword, the bishop raised a hand to steady. And yet the jester came too late. The longbow string let fly. Shot true, the arrow found its mark. The king he gave a muted cry. The bishop watched the dying king. Tears of regret fell on his breast. The bishop held the young king's hand. Emptiness inside his chest. Thank you.
Django, you did it again. So good. Wow. Oh my gosh, I don't know. That was so good. Okay. Oh, let's see those scores. Oh, yes. All right. We got a 9.7, a 9.6, a 9.3, a 9.4. Come on. And 9.3. How do you say this one?
28.3. Yes, Django, yes. All right.
You do this one. Next up, we have Ilse. Is that
a good height? Yes, actually. Thanks. Hold on. Listen up! Because I'm calling you out on a lie. Adults are none of that superhuman kind, although as children we certainly believe the adult to be a fantastically impervious beast. Because when you're 4, you can't even understand that sepia photographs and treasure chests were real times. Can't wrap your head around the fact that your superhero lived a younger age. No grown-up is handed a cape of invincibility. There is no rite of passage into the realm of the superhuman. Breadcrumbs play hide and seek amongst sheets, stomach spills in turmoil, sweaty limbs thrash, and breadcrumbs play hide and seek beneath sheets. Monster under bed, everything horrid, possibly imaginable is creeping out of the closet and into your head, driving sweat from pores, chatters from teeth, shivers from limbs, and when scream exits mouth. In the mother comes, you awaken, you are safe. Although sometimes as teenagers we wonder when we will receive our own capes of invincibility, when all you can see is the 360 degrees of toilet bowl white. Up close and personal, broccoli goes backwards and she's there holding your hair, without a doubt superhuman. But the truth of it is, the adult is merely the adult. Because when sweat is driven from pores and chatters are driven from teeth, shivers from limbs, and something has drilled its way into your head, gritty breadcrumbs tickle you awake, it's because your mother is not in the room. She's in the hallway. She is lost. Sometimes we peek beneath the veil. The first time I saw past the magical sheen, the first time I brushed aside my illusion, I thought I had sighted a demon. My heart contracted. What was the shriveled sight before me? Tears and puddles, racking sobs. Was it going to drown in its own fluids? Her breath moves faster than the click-clack of a train on tracks, in and out, too fast to keep up with. Words are muddied pools, and it's midnight, and you're alone, and she says she's having a panic attack, but you're being attacked by panic.
When the adult has used up its supply of rational, calming phrases, when it starts coughing up alarming gibberish on repeat, you might freeze. What to do? Have you seen it standing, knife in hand, regurgitating words keener than blade? The creature is made of thousands upon thousands of old road maps and storybooks, adventures recorded in other books, rolled tighter and tighter until you've got yourself one paper human. Keep away from fire. They need regular oiling with words of encouragement. Now, it's hard to find encouragement in size adult. You might have to order it from some far-off land, and even then it will take a while to arrive at your vocal cords. Let us be real. No matter how you try to fix your adult, they still will feel they're not bulletproof, but neither are you. And so as long as you're not the one to shoot, they're elastic and will usually come through. And sometimes that rubber band will snap and will fly, catapulting patterns of familiarity, head over heel, dizzy till even your mind's eye can't see a thing. Take a breath, stand up straight, wherever you've landed, on mountain or lake, wherever you're stranded. Before you know it, you'll be sucked back into that spiral, go back to your expectations, reset the dial, you've returned to the bottom, safe and blameless, though of course nothing's been forgotten. You'll be fine, just so long as you avoid the mistake of lumping adults into the category of superhuman kind.
Very nice, very nice. All right, let's see some scores. We got a 9.8, a 9.7, 9.1, 9.2, and 9.7.
Oh, yeah. Huh?
We have one more poet, right?
Yeah.
All right, and that would be a 28.1. All right, this is our last poet, Alex. Come on up.
What's up again? Hi, guys. Okay, I wrote this one last night, and it's more of a rap than a poem, but I think it's pretty good. I hope you guys enjoy it. Okay. Genius, not ingenious. Heinous, not infamous. What you gonna do when you drain all those around you and nobody's left to hang with us? What, you think you're invincible? Standing backstage thinking you're invisible? I can see you pulling the strings. Nah, we ain't finished boxing till the bell rings. Can I get a bell, Andrew? Okay. And it's a left hook, right hook, and then an uppercut. I had a taste of that once, that uppercut, and that was something that I never had, that upper class life, but then again, that's never really caused me strife. I just try to live life the best I can, and sometimes you end up with a knife in your hand, or a script, or a guitar, maybe even a whip if you're into that shit. Oops, did I actually say that out loud? Shit. Anyway, what I'm actually trying to say is that you shouldn't try to manipulate people who want to support you into doing whatever you want them to do. You can't hold out a helping hand and twist theirs behind their back. There's gonna be consequences. They're gonna put you on the rack and stretch your mind into places beyond where you thought it could go until it can't hold any longer and you're lost in the cold. Do you ever think back to when you was a kid and you used to play basketball out on them courts and shit down there at Colonel Summers? Yeah, you barely made 5 out of every 100 shots, but you still kept playing because you was in good company. You was with your friends, right? That's the way it used to go. Now y'all only see each other every week or so. You're always busy with work or school, booking a gig, playing a show. Sometimes it just feels like you're going through the motions. The riff gets bigger till it feels like an ocean, but you still keep playing. And maybe you do only make every 5 out of 100 shots, but you still keep playing. 'Cause you're in good company. You're with your friends. Thank you.
I don't know what you're saying. She said we're gonna thank the judges. That was so good. I heard some Kanye in that, for the record. Congrats. All right, 9.2. Yeah. 9.0, 9.3, 9.5, and 9.5. What are we doing?
right, here we go, Alex. We got a 28.
All right, so the calculators over here are going to be calculating the scores. All right, and then we're just going to wait.
All right. Thank you again all for coming. Parents, families, friends, staff, students, poets. I'd like to announce our winners tonight, and third place will be going to Allia Service. Woo! Along with this beautiful certificate, Allia will be getting $50 and 2 tickets to Verslandia, including herself, and the possibility, if something should happen, she'll get to perform. Second place goes to Django Jacobson-Fine. Django will be performing at Verslandia, and he's got $75 in cash right now in his hot hands. And first place. That would be Lily Lamadrid.